All right, and welcome to our day two, first break here at Pen Test HackFest 2021. We are coming to you live from Bethesda, Maryland. We do see that people are logging on from all over the world to say hi to us. So welcome. Thank you for joining. If you haven't already, please make sure to register for the live online HackFest Summit. It is for free. You can find our website, access it. We'll have lots more cool talks today. We just had our second team, and there's lots on board for today. And right now, I am joined by Bryson Bort, founder and CEO of SCYTHE, as well as Tim Schulz, who is Adversary Emulation Lead at SCYTHE. And Bryson, you had a very cool keynote yesterday about getting offensive management, getting vulnerability management, and leverage some of the data and knowledge that we have in order to convince your managers of the steps they need to take with their security teams. It was very informative, but what I'd like to really ask is, Tim, do you get offensive with management?
Well, of course. I mean, as you can see.
That was aggressive.
But yes, in addition to physically offensive, but part of his message is around. I think one of the key things I take out of it is the managing up, down, and sideways. And so from that perspective, I try my best, but of course, Bryce doesn't have to give the official word on whether it's making it all the way up to our top management.
This is probably about the time to share how Tim was talking about management after 3 drinks in the bar yesterday.
It's a perfect time.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the keynote, the idea behind it with getting offensive with management, and he dressed up as a lieutenant explorer of the 3rd SCYTHE Unicorneers, was the fact that we often go to these conferences and we see all of these really cool techniques, and then we have to go back to our jobs. We don't get to do it, right? And we're nerds. We like to do cool stuff. And so what I tried to do was talk about the personal psychology, the organizational management, and then also a different way to even do and look at the technical processes. So we get to do that fun stuff and really make a difference. That's
great. And so coming a little bit from the other side, I'll mention, so Bryson, you're quite an influencer in our community. But
you take that back. What did I do to you, Randall?
He's a big deal on
That's
Twitter.
That's getting offensive.
I also want to, because you have a lot of experience with this, do you have any sort of practical advice to give those that are maybe, I don't know, younger or older in the field, have less experience, more experience, who want to start their own businesses and want to, maybe it's just consultant work, or maybe it is, starting to establish some sort of product. You mentioned in your talk about that you always cite resources in all your slides so that they're available for everyone to look at. Is there any resources you want to plug with regard to business development or starting your own business?
Yeah, coincidentally, I just gave that talk at the North Texas ISSA Summit. Unfortunately, it was not recorded. However, if you look up my name, Bryson Bort, B-O-R-T, and then I've done several talks called, I titled them Entrepreneurial Adventures. Probably the biggest one was at the Career Hacking Village back at DEF CON 28. And what I talked through is all of the elements from, first of all, why would you do this yourself? Like, why would you start a business? Because it's not money. You can't start this for the money. So there are 2 key qualities to look at yourself as an entrepreneur for starting your own business. One is passion. You have to want to do something so badly that each moment that it is not out there in the world, it bothers you, right? And if that's a product, that's obvious. But if it's a consultancy, it's oftentimes going to the people aspect of how we take care of people and wanting to do that yourself, because we've all had bad bosses, right? We all have people who don't treat us well. And so you doing that on your own is that element of starting your business and doing it your way for consultancy. The second key attribute to an entrepreneur is tolerance for BS. It's your own business. There is nobody to look to and be like, oh, this sucks. There's no one behind you to do it. You have to do it. And you are going to have to learn things like, what are the health insurance requirements in North Dakota? How can you hire somebody in Colorado? All of these different aspects of the administrivia that book a business are yours to do. So I talk through the ideation, I talk about the networking aspect, I talk about how you actually run and build a business, and the unit of economics between product and services, and of course the key question of should I raise or not to raise. So all of that is out there in those talks. feel free to check them out. And if you're on Slack, I have my own channel with the SANS HackFest, so I'm happy to engage there and answer any more questions you have.
All right, awesome. And with that, I'll also say a very heartfelt congratulations on completing your Series A funding for SCYTHE. That is very awesome to hear. Also, partly because you guys have been doing incredible work for the community, lots of cool stuff going on. Bryson, of course, you and George Ortiz, who's an instructor for SANS, very instrumental in creating the C2 matrix. Tim, I just observed one of your Purple Team workshops just last week. It's really awesome that you guys are continuing that program. And also, Unicon has been, exploding basically. It's extremely popular. Every time. It's very fun. It's very informative. It's a very cool event that's really awesome. I just wondered if you could speak a little bit about the cool stuff coming outside for the future.
Sure. Well, why don't we start with Purple Team workshops and where those are going, Timothy? All right. You got to take it from me.
I got to take it. So glad to hear you enjoyed the Purple Team workshops. One of the big pieces of feedback we've gotten is people want more. They want to dive deeper. And so with that, and with our Series A, we've been able to hire a couple of extra unicorns to bring that content to everyone. And so part of what we're going to be doing is breaking it up a little bit so that we have, for instance, a detection engineering workshop. Something that Bryson talked about in his keynote today is that process of how you do Purple Team. And so breaking it up into things like detection engineering. Additionally, how do we dive into making our tests a little bit more difficult as our organization matures? Those types of things are additional workshops that be on the lookout for. The same as our current workshop will be free. They'll be open to the community. There will be hands-on labs so that everybody can learn in addition to and trying to reinforce some of those concepts that we do. So that's what you've got coming up for me. And so look out for those. And again, have to hear feedback about what people like about them and what they want to see, because that's what's driving us going forward.
I'll just mention about the workshop, very low barrier to entry, really very easy to take part in it. It operated quite seamlessly. They're very cool. Check them out if you have not.
And they're free. The best price is free. So they're offered every single month right now. You can check them out on our website and be offering even more, like in smaller pieces with webinars and then specialized workshops. So you can deep dive beyond just the, hey, I've been introduced to this overall process. Now I really want to go into that or to that, right? Those different areas. So that's what we're doing. Unicon is our annual conference with SCYTHE. Obviously, play off unicorn, Unicon, we're never subtle. And what it is the Purple Team Practitioner Conference. We're trying to bring practitioners from the real world that are innovating process and technologies, different tools, some free, some that are out there that are paid service, so that folks can see what's the latest thing that's actually happening out there. I mean, we joked about the influencer thing, but the knock on influencers is it's just ideas. And ideas don't matter if they can't inspire action. And so the idea behind Unicon is we're trying to share what is the act that's happening out in the community so that others can see that instead of having somebody who clearly has an agenda talking about it. Hear from a practitioner that's out there, right there in the trenches with you, who's doing it too. I'm not sure what else. I get something else in there.
No, that was great. That was perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping we would cover. I just want to say thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome partners. SANS, we love working with you guys at SCYTHE. So hope to do more. Look forward to seeing what happens with SCYTHE in 2022 and beyond. And so we'll let you get back to Pen Test HackFest 2021. I believe the break should just be about over. And if you have not registered, please remember to go online and register for the free HackFest Summit. We have lots of cool talks going on today, and we still have our offensive operations curriculum CTF running today through 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe. And we got some cool prizes coming up from that, winning some SANS courses, network subscriptions at the least. Cool stuff coming up. So we'll see you online. Bye for now.